is going on, everybody? It is your boy Arrows here, and we're here with another Lorcana deck profile for the Reign of Jafar format. And inadvertently enough, this is also a deck profile for post-rotation, because I was just looking through the cards in here before we recorded the video, and nothing here is sets 1 through 4. So this is a solid option for you post rotation, assuming certain cards don't get reprinted. So when I build these decks, I also try to make them as cheap as possible, especially if you're a new player getting into Lorcana. You probably don't have, like, what is it, Canadian $260 to drop on Maui Sharks or Rapunzel gifted with healing. So we always try to make these decks as cheap as possible, while still trying to make them super competitive. So this is Emerald Amber. Try saying that 5 times fast. Aggro. This is a similar build to Chernadogs, only without Chernabog. So we are focusing in on super aggressive plays, a lot of 1-drops, a lot of 2-drops, and a lot of cards that give us lore as well. We are really focused in on that early game, pushing for mass damage. Let's get into it. We are, of course, running our 4 copies of Daisy Duck Donald's Date from Shimmering Sky. She is a 1/4 quest for 2 with uninkable. With her ability Big Prize, whenever this character quests, each opponent reveals the top card of their deck. If it's a character card, they may put it into their hand. Otherwise, they put it on the bottom of their deck. This card is hilarious, especially if you open up with multiples of them and you can play them on multiple turns and you can quest in early for some huge damage, for some huge lore. It is very, especially with like a 1/4, if it's very possible for you to be sitting at like 6 ink before your opponent, 6 to 8 ink before your opponent can do anything about these. Coming out, we have the new dual color 1-drop lady coming out in Reign of Jafar. She is Lady Decisive Dog. She is a 1-cost 0/3. Whenever you play a character, this character gets +1 this turn. While this character has 3 or more, she gets +2. This is a big reason why we're running so many 1 and 2 drops, because it is super easy to trigger this effect. This is going to be a really good card and is really scary to have to look at, to have to deal with early game. We have 4 copies of Nala, Mischievous Cub. She's a 0/4. Again, you're going to notice a lot of these 1-drops have like a solid willpower line. We don't really so much care about banishing our opponent's characters in challenges. We just want our stuff to stay alive through some challenges, or take multiple challenges to take our stuff out so we can keep questing with it. She quests for 1 at a 1-drop. Fantastic. We have Fred, Mascot by Day. I love Fred. He's not the biggest willpower in this deck. He's only sits at 1 for a 1/1. But whenever this character is challenged, gain 2 lore. If you can keep your opponent putting their non-character cards on the bottom of their deck with Daisy, this guy can quest for a little bit, and they're going to have to take him out with a challenge, especially in the late game. If you're dropping like 3 of these guys, it's kind of scary. And of course, sorry, his effect. How cool is that? Whenever this character is challenged, gain 2 lore. We have our Little John, our 0/4 Emerald card, the Camp Cook. He quests for 1 at a 1-drop. Again, with that 4 stat line, with that 4 defense line, it's going to take hopefully a couple challenges early game to get him off the field if you want to. Then we have Lilo, the Escape Artist, 2-cost inkable, 1/2, quest for 2. At the start of your turn, if this card is in your discard, you may play her and she enters exerted. In the late game, this card constantly poses a threat to your opponent. If you're comfortably in the lead and you can play this, even though you can't quest with it the turn it comes out, you can force your opponent in the late game to take this out, because you're always going to have that threat of 2 lore on the board. At our 2-drops, we have Tramp, the Enterprising Dog. He's a 1/3, cost 2, but if you have a character named Lady in play, you pay 1 less to play this character. So if you can get Lady out early, you can open with Tramp, and at your 1-drop, she gives another chosen character +1 when you play him for each other character you have in play. So if you go turn 1 Daisy, turn 2 lady, turn 3 play tramp. Tramp gives lady a +1 for each other character. So you get 2 from tramp, and then you get 1 from lady. Lady is questing for a lot in that turn 3, which is kind of scary. 4 copies of Chip, Friend Indeed. He's a 3/3, 3-drop inkable, quest for 1. When you play this character, chosen character gets +1 lore per turn. Give this to someone that already quests for 2. They're questing for 3. Clawhauser, 1/4, 3 cost uninkable. 3 cost inkable. Quest for 2 has Bodyguard and Singer 4. We don't really care about Singer 4. We're not playing any songs in this deck. But yeah, Singer 4, quest for 2 with Bodyguard keeps your other stuff on the field a lot longer. Because if they want to challenge, they have to go through Clawhauser first, which is fantastic. 3 copies of Lady. No, how many copies? I feel like I'm running 4. 4 copies of Lady Family Dog. One of the, in my opinion, arguably the best non-dual color cards in Reign of Jafar. She's a 3 cost inkable 2/2. Quest for 2 herself. But when you play this character, you may play a character with cost 2 or less for free. Again, it depends on how you play this. If you have this lady out, you play this lady on your turn 3. You play this tramp. This tramp is giving +2, +1 off its effect. You can do a lot of early damage in this deck, which is fantastic. But of course, sometimes we have to challenge ourselves to get threats off the board. So we're running 4 copies. 4 copies of Perla, Nimble Seamstress. She's a 3/2, 3 cost, inkable, evasive, and it has support. Whenever this character quests, you may add their attack power to another chosen character's attack power for this turn. We have to take some stuff out. 4 copies of Cinderella, Fairest in the Land. She's a 4 cost, 2/2, quest for 2, can't be challenged. So in the late game, the theory here is your opponent is going to have to use some of their destruction cards to get rid of her, at least one of their destruction cards. But however, if you have already quested a lot this turn, they might not have what they need to get rid of her. So, and she can't be challenged. So if they can't get rid of her with their actions and songs, they have to figure out they're going to lose because she's just going to keep questing for 2. 3 copies of Jock, Attentive Uncle. When you play this character, if you have 3 or more other characters in play, gain 2 lore. He's 4 costs, 3/4, quest for 2. With the amount of 1 and 2 drops we have here in like the late game when you're at 6 or 7 ink, you are more than likely going to be getting this effect off and getting yourself a lot of extra lore. Darling Deer at our 5-drop slot is a 5 cost inkable, quest for 1, 4/4. When you play this character, chosen character gains +2 lore for the turn. Just an upgraded version of Chip. Player gives something else 2 lore. If they're questing for 2, they're now questing for 4. If they're questing for 1, they're now questing for 3. The lore is going to add up in this deck very, very well. Then we have 4 copies of Lady Miss Park Avenue. Shift 3. For 3, you can play this on top of another lady. 5 costs on its own, 4/4, quest for 2. When you play this character, you may return up to 2 character cards with cost 2 or less from your discard to your hand. Well, anything here is worth bringing back. Tramp's going to give power-ups. Daisy's going to give us 2 lore. Lady is going to be a threat in the late game. We have a lot of options for this card. I love it. And then rounding out our characters, we have 4 copies of Tramp, Dapper Rascal. This slot, I feel, can be whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be Tramp. I just think this Tramp is a very good card. If you want to keep this Chernadogs, you could take these Tramps out for Chernabogs. If you want to play more into pre-rotation, you can put these out for part of your world to return your 3-drop ladies to your hand. Hades, the 4 cost uninkable that lets you return a character to your hand to return your lady. You can run, if you want to spend a little bit more money, you could run Rapunzel, gifted with healing for when stuff stays alive. You can play it. You can draw a card. This spot is really flexible, in my opinion. But this tramp is a 6 cost. It shifts for 4 onto another tramp. Plus a 2 attack, 8 defense, plus for 2. During an opponent's turn, whenever one of your characters is banished, you may draw a card. So if you play this, all of your stuff is super easy to take out. Like nothing here has higher than 4 on the willpower except for this tramp. So you're gonna get some card draw potentially. But again, like I said, this spot is very flexible. You can put whatever you want in there. Some options are, like I said, Rapunzel gifted with healing. You could run other various forms of card return. Hades. Can't remember his name. Whatever. Hades, the Amber one that from set 1 that returns a character card from your graveyard to your hand. Part of your world will do the same thing. There's a couple of songs that do the same thing. Other songs that do the same thing. Entirely up to you. I like this tramp in this slot, but again, if you want to make this more Chernadogs, you can play your copies. You can play your copies of Chernabog. There's just a lot of potential here with this deck. If you want to run Lyle, Tiberius Stone, for lore dropping, that is again entirely up to you. This last spot here has a ton of potential. I just really like this tramp, so that's why we're playing this tramp in that slot. You could even run the other tramp. Hold on. You could even run, where is he? You can run this tramp to give another character ward. You can run this tramp, cost less for each character you have in play. When you play this character, you may draw a card for each other character, then choose and discard. This is more suited for Chernadogs, I personally feel, but that flex spot does have a ton of potential, in my opinion. So yeah, that's the deck. Let me know what you think. I think it has a ton of potential in the next format, Reign of Jafar, but I think it's going to see so much more in a post-rotation format, depending on what is reprinted in the form of damaging cards that aren't characters, and so on and so forth. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you would make any changes, what you like, what you don't like. Do you think this deck is a potential threat going into the next format and beyond? What cards do you think I should pop out? What would you put in this flex spot? There might even be cards that I'm not even thinking of. But let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. Ding the notification bell if you want to be alerted to whenever we have new videos up featuring Lorcana content or Final Fantasy content. I'm going to try really hard to make a lot of stuff. But yeah, stay safe out there, my friends. Have yourselves a great day. And as always, enjoy card games. Enjoy life, because they're both fantastic. Bye.